Moving swiftly on to Sector 3 of this brand new Maz Kanata Conquest. If you haven't watched my previous videos, what are you doing here? Go watch Sector 1 and Sector 2. Maybe even check out some of those global feats. It's gonna be sick. Guys, let's do some cheesy business. Here we are, rocking up in Sector 3, ladies and gentlemen. We have got 4 feats to do throughout this sector. Namely, win 10 battles with no tanks on your squad, attempt to inflict Disarm 15 times, attempt to inflict Blind 80 times, and defeat 35 enemies with Spectre units. Most of these really not so bad. This sector is okay, and you can double dip quite a bit on these. We also have mini boss feats and end boss feats. Now, you don't need to keep an eye out for a Droidica node because we've got one in the bonus node. As you know, this is my favorite for cheesing feats, guys. You know I like to use this, and that's exactly what we're going to do with both that Blind and that Disarm. A couple of things before we begin. You can abuse Blind with Jabba the Hutt if you have Jabba the Hutt, okay? So you can go in, he blinds on a basic. If you're taking Cad Bane with him, you'll be able to do global feats to try and get that deployable cooling system done, as well as getting the blinds. And also, in a standard CLS team, Chupio does a blind on his AoE, so you could just use those teams as you progress through, right? However, I've got a team that should be able to get you your blinds and your disarms in one jobby just on this node. Now, there aren't many characters that do blind and do disarm on a basic. There's actually nobody that disarms on a basic, but CX2 is able to use disarm on his first special, and it only has a cooldown of 3, and he's a relatively fast individual, so I do recommend using him. You can use people like Santi instead, and I believe there is one other character. I can't remember who it is though. Anyway, CX2 I'm going to use in this one, and Omega. The reason I'm using Omega is on her basic. If she has got evasion up, you will blind and daze on a basic, right? And of course, Han Solo over here can pass evasion up on his special. Now, if you don't want to do these two at once, you could instead throw in an additional character over here, someone like, I don't know, the new Bad Batch Omega to reduce cooldowns and stuff like that to help Han Solo get back round. Or you could throw in C-3PO to make the run easier, get translation over on Han Solo. Han Solo will then be able to use his shrug to pass that evasion up to Omega more frequently. You can also, you know, swap Omega and throw in C-3PO and start putting translation on CX2 to get through for those disarms a little bit quickly. You've got a lot of options to flex this capability, okay? All you want to do, not have too many Ruthless Swiftness. You don't have to worry about damage output. Just don't gain too much turn meter. We need that Droidica to get into damage immunity. And here we go. So all I'm looking to do here is take out the enemy team as quickly as possible. I like to try and take out Newt first because he's going to revive once anyway. Enemy has obviously taken their turn. That's great. We just need Droidica to get into damage immunity right now. So I want to take out Newt to get through that first revive. We've got one disarm there. We can do whatever we want here at this point. We want to take out all the enemy units, but make sure you don't kill Droidica. It's in your interest 100% to work on that B1 battle droid as well. I tried to stun Dooku here. It didn't work out. I was a little bit disappointed. Get rid of those B1 stacks because B1 is actually passing additional tenacity, and for some reason the Droidica there used a basic instead of rolling up. I was getting a little bit concerned here. I was like, is this Droidica actually going to roll up into damage immunity so we can start things rolling? And of course Dooku over there controlling our team as well. So anyway, once that B1 is the Droidica is in damage immunity, we want to be able to apply that tenacity down. Obviously, we've got the booming voice data disc. Go see my other global video on that to get that really easily in one battle. We want to get that tenacity down. We want to take out all the enemy units, and then it's a case of controlling the Droidica, okay? Once everybody's gone, all you have to do is make sure you never dispel that Droidica, all right? So CLS can use his second special and his basic. Definitely try to get the stun with Chewbacca or with Han Solo. It's definitely worth doing that. And then whenever we use a basic with our Omega while she has evasion up, she is always going to attempt to apply blind, which is great. We need to do that 80 times. It's quite a bit, but you'll be surprised at how quickly you can get through a lot of this. And then CX2 over there, use his second special whenever it's available, and he will be getting disarms for you. You'll easily get all 15 disarms in one battle here. Don't forget, whilst Omega has got evasion up, always try to use that form up with CLS because we've got that booming voice data disc, and that is going to cause her to assist again, which is going to cause her to place another blind on the enemy. So just keep on doing that. You could try to auto this, but it would have to be auto basic, and you'd have to constantly take it off in order to shrug with Han and in order to place that disarm with CX2. Now, you won't necessarily get 80 blinds in one battle out of this, but you will get a significant amount, and it'll become quicker and faster the more you do it, the more you can get through it. Like I said, you can also do the same thing here. You could take in this team, and instead of Omega, you could throw in Jabba the Hutt, and then you could just go auto basic, essentially. So you could swap CX2 out for C3PO. Then you could just have Jabba the Hutt in the 5th. You could go auto basic here, and you'll probably get all your blinds in one run. I'll show you how to do that now, in fact. Let's quickly do that. We want to do the exact same principle. We want to get it down to just that droidica. So I want to take out Newt Gunray as quickly as possible. And the enemy team, and let's just put some thermals on him as well, I guess. Beautiful. If we can get that droidica to roll up, that would be very nice. Thank you, droidica. So happy for you, good sir. All right, let's make sure that we get the... what am I thinking? The damage immunity, the tenacity down. Oh well, unfortunately we don't have guard on our boy right now. So guard has actually gone to C3PO. It's not the end of the world. Let's see if we can get rid of this Dooku. There we go. Dooku's gone. Definitely want to get rid of absolutely everybody right now. Make sure you do not. Make sure you do not dispel the damage immunity on that enemy droidica. Okay, great. So when we get to here, you can go auto basic. Got 4 minutes left. Jabba, every time he does a basic, is going to place that blind. CLS, whenever he does stuff, is going to be stripping away turn meter, and so is Han Solo, and so is C3PO actually. But it looks like we didn't actually manage to pull him back completely there, which is a bit disappointing, because even though he's got tenacity down, and we've got additional buffs, we don't seem to be stripping back that turn meter all the time. He does keep it for 2 turns, so you might end up losing it, but you shouldn't, theoretically. You shouldn't. And you'll get lots and lots of blinds. Easily be able to get lots and lots of blinds. Jabba is also much, much faster, of course, and because you can just put this on auto basic, you don't have to worry about the buffs. You will get all your blinds, most likely all your blinds, in one battle. Pretty good. Pretty good way of getting it done. Just leave this on auto basic, and he shouldn't take turns. As you can see, his turn meter is getting controlled pretty heavily right now, thanks to all the team setup that we've got here. And that should be all she wrote. Should be all she wrote. Not too bad at all. When it comes to using no tanks, I'm going to go through a couple of teams just so that you're aware of them. Obviously, the CLS one, you will work on your blinds in that case. Not too bad. You've obviously got Imperial Troopers. Throw in Wat Tambor, so use the basic at the start. It's going to get your Imperial Troopers a head start in terms of turn meter. Gas 501st, you can drop out 5s and you can throw in snips. C-Bane, 2-man team. I know you can't really see it here. Let me just get rid of my face. A C-Bane team, that will help you out with no tanks. You can do this as you're slowly progressing throughout Conquest. Really not a big deal. You know, you can make that work as you're going, or you can farm the bonus nodes where you're going to want to get Datacron materials anyway. Just make it happen as you're going through. It's really not so big of a deal getting this no tanks done. Now, the defeat enemies with spectre units, really easy to do if you've got JML. If you've got JML, you can go in with a full Jedi squad over here. And you could throw in Ezra Bridger Exile if you have him. If not, if you don't have Ezra Bridger Exile, the best real bet is probably going to be someone like Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. You can use any of the others, but Ahsoka is just more of a damaging unit, right? And you just use Luke's event special ability. If you're worried about the taunt, you can throw in Wat Tambor. Just make sure you get a couple of Jedi in. Hermit Yoda is a good one. Shakti is another good one. And you just constantly call that additional unit to assist. Ezra, I know at the start it's going to be exiled, so you might want to swap him out for someone like Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. Get that done. Obviously, if you have already got GL Ahsoka, this is going to be a breeze for you. Just go full Spectre and just work through the entire sector as you're going. Keep an eye out for teams like Imperial Troopers, because this is like 8 potential kills that you can get in one battle. You've also got stuff like Geonosians or even Mon Mothma that can revive. Anything that can revive, like Newt Gunray, for example, he will revive once. Wat Tambor can revive other units. If you've got stuff like Jango Fett is going to revive. All those little things, they all sort of add up as you're going through. Unfortunately, we don't have one really good node that's going to be great for farming kills. But if you happen to get like a Mon Mothma node that happens to have Scarab Pathfinder, if he's got buffs, he's going to revive, all that sort of good business. It can be tricky to manage. But yeah, there are options available to you as you're going through trying to get those Spectre kills. But yeah, even going in Phoenix with Chopper, you might get some kills with Chopper as you're doing that, you know, full Phoenix team with C-Rex, that can all work. So looking at the mid-sector boss then, what do we need to do? We're going up against Saw, we need to win with only light side characters or win with Bale and Squall in your squad. Obviously, if you've got Bale and Skull, this team is actually super easy. It's an easy battle. I'm not going to show it to you because if you've got Bane and Skull, you've probably got a pretty good, solid relict team over here. Win with only light side characters against Saw Gerrera. Well, I don't want to be using that, do I? What you could do is you could do Bad Batch and double dip on the global feats, or you could do Jedi Vanguard and double dip on the global feats. I'm trying to think what would be the best thing to use here in terms of accessibility. Potentially a CLS team. Potentially a CLS team. Let's just go gas. Let's just do a gas 501st team. And I won't take in 5s so that we can do the no tanks feat as well. I imagine gas should be okay against here. It really depends on just how difficult the modifiers are here. Let's go ahead and waste that. Go ahead and place our arc turret over here on Captain Rexy. And let's just start dealing some good damage. Dealing that good damage. Let's get some big... Oh my god, gas. Like, because of all these buffs are just supercharging this gas team as well. That's huge. Wow. Alright, yeah, so gas is a really solid option over here for a full light side victory, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got things like Weak Spot, if you've got things like Ruthless Swiftness, all these things will help you in getting that light side victory. Not too difficult. Like I said, I won't go over the Bale and Skull one. At the end, though, we've got that Maul team. We need to defeat an enemy with Padawan Obi-Wan and win with a Sith Empire character in your squad. If you've got JML with Padawan Obi-Wan, and then just throw in Malak or something. Failing that, defeating the enemy with Padawan Obi-Wan is the tricky thing. So, I mean, you could go in with Jedi Vanguard. Obviously, an ideal team is going to be Queen Amidala, but I'm trying to make this a little bit more accessible. So let's say we've got Keller and Beck over here, and we'll take in... Actually, it won't be Jedi Vanguard, will it? Because they're not Jedi Vanguard, it'll be Galactic Republic. So, let's take in Padawan Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon Jinn. You know what? Could it be fun to go in with a Gidmay team? That could be fun. Gidmay, and let's take in, obviously, Gideon. And then if we were to take in, let's just say Malak for a Sith Empire character, right? Because Malak's going to be a pretty good taunt. I don't know if this is going to work. This looks really ridiculous in my books, but maybe there's method to my madness over here. Maybe there's method to the madness. Let's just start off by doing a kick, getting that nice stun. Maul already, because we have a version of Padawan of Obi-Wan, is getting all those stacks. Let's get some damage in over here. If anybody doesn't know how the Gidmay team works, when you use Control the Situation with Gideon on this, he's going to pass up a whole bunch of, well, 200% bonus protection over here. And that's going to make your support characters do a lot of damage. Alright, so let's get rid of those debuffs. Let's see how much damage we can get out here. Oh, not bad at all. Alright, so we've got some damage into the armorer. We just now need to start working our way through and getting over to places that we need to be. Oof, those counterattacks. They recover a lot of health there as well. Alright. Oh my gosh, Padme, I forgot about her. I forgot that Padme does insane work. Padme does insane work when she's got maxed out stacks of courage. But there's our defeat with Padawan Obi-Wan. Just need to work through and hope for the best now. Let's go ahead, get some damage in. That buff immunity is being the biggest pain in the tuchus on my boy Malak. He's supposed to be there to taunt. He's supposed to be there to taunt, and instead he's not. Let's go after Maul here. That was some good damage on that Maul. Some real good damage on Maul. That was a misclick. That was supposed to be the life drain ability. Never mind, Scribbles. Never mind. Let's go ahead and hide just a little bit. And, wow. Yeah, okay, we should be in a good position. Yeah, so you can do something like that. You get your defeat with Padawan Obi-Wan, you get a Malak. Obviously, this is not a perfect team, but it's one way of getting it done, right? Alright, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, do make sure you give a like and a comment down below. Give me some suggestions for more teams to help you out with. And if you haven't watched my previous videos, I have a whole playlist for lots and lots of cheese, global feats, sectors 1s, 2, 3s. I'll be working on 4 and 5 later. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.